Well, it starts making money right away, but typically, some you can do less than that. But what they call the IULs, those are about 10 or 15 years. The other high-end savings accounts with insurance companies, they're called annuities. Fixed annuities are the options we go with, and they can actually use that. Those they can get sooner.
I love it, man. So, I love it. So hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning into the Ross Cloud Podcast as we travel through the clouds of life, empowering one another. And listen, I have a very, very special guest with us here on today, something that I've actually been wanting to do. Quincy doesn't even know it, but I have Mr. Quincy L. Washington, President and CEO of Legacy Financial and Partners Group. Quincy, what's happening, bro?
Hey, it's still morning. Good morning. We got about 5 minutes to evening. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, man. You doing okay today, man?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I believe in building relationships with people, and we had a conversation before, and hopefully we can get some things done, of course. But I always believe in seizing the moment and seizing the opportunity where we can find a way that we can give back to the community in hopes that it can empower them.
Yes.
Other than what we typically see happening on today. It was important to me that we had someone on that can kind of talk about finance, insurance, and you're the guy to talk about it on today. And we're super elated to have you here, man.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
hey, I don't take it lightly because I'm sure you could have many other people. So just a little peon from Winston-Salem. Okay. So I appreciate it.
Okay, what school did you go to, Quincy?
I went to Reynolds, man. Society Hill, brother. It's not what it was when I was there. That was a good friend of ours just posted. It was 28 years ago, really? 96, man. So
Wow. Yeah, man. It's been a while then.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you played ball too.
I did. Yeah.
What position did you play?
I played power forward and center.
Was you any good, Quincy?
I was okay.
All right.
I went on to play in college, so I was decent.
I got you.
But the NBA or overseas wasn't calling, so.
Yeah. Absolutely. What college did you go to, Quincy?
I went to Roanoke College in Virginia. I was like, I got to get out of North Carolina for a while. I grew up as the only child, but on my dad's side, I've got siblings. Didn't meet them until I was 21, but grew up as the only child. So my grandma was like, well, you can stay here and go to Winston stay. I was like, Grandma, I was like, I got to grow up. I was like, I got to get away. So I went to Roanoke College in Virginia.
Yeah, smart move. Sometimes you do need to get away, man.
Yeah.
Get out of your surroundings, get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes that's what it takes in order to thrive, man.
Correct.
So how did you find your way into finances? Is that what you went to school for?
Well, I wanted to actually,
back
in the day when all the rappers had clothing lines, I was like, I wanted me a clothing line.
Of course.
So I've always liked nice clothes. Sure. And so I never spend it on myself, though. It's always on my kids. And so, but I wanted to have a clothing line. So I was like, I knew I want to go for business. I want to learn about this money game.
Yeah.
So I went to school for business. So I got my undergrad in business business association.
Sure.
And then I went back later and got my master's in accounting.
Yeah.
So by accident, I fell into banking. And so I was working at American Express at the time, my first real job out of undergrad. And so I actually wanted to get out of that. And then so I fell into banking. And just by chance and did a 20-year stint in banking. And so worked my way up from a relationship banker all the way up to senior financial analyst. And so then I was the last 6 of that 20, I started helping people on the side with insurance and financial services as well. So.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. Which bank did you work for, Quincy?
Which one didn't I work for?
You worked for all of them, huh?
Yeah, I started out in 2000 with 2001 with what was then at BB&T, which is now Truist. Left there, went to a smaller company. It was a regional bank to Southern Community. Left there, went to TriStone. We were acquired by First Community.
Okay.
Then after I got my master's, I went over to True Lion. I was trying to get out of banking, but everybody I was, look, why are you getting out of banking? You've been in banking so long. That was one of the interview questions. Nobody would offer me a job. So 9 months having a master's degree with no job, I went back into banking on the credit union side. And so with True Line, was there for about 6 years, and then I left and went to Legacy for a senior analyst position.
I got you. So would you say from your personal experience, would you say that credit unions are better than banks?
I wouldn't say better.
Okay.
They both have their niches. You know, if depending on the products, you know, typically the credit unions have a better interest rates. They do have that. But you know, then far as travel, if you're one of those that travel quite a bit, a larger bank may be better because you've got multiple locations.
I got you. And I guess those perks.
Exactly.
Those perks that you get that you may not get with a credit union. I wonder why. Well, let me ask you, why do they say that then? Why do they there's this disparity to tell us not to go to banks instead of credit unions? Why do they do that?
It's people's opinion.
Okay.
You know, this person may have had a bad experience. You know, the stigma with big banks is they feed you to death. So that's but they have certain products. Like when I was with BB&T, there were certain levels to the checking accounts. So, you know, it's different levels to it. So maybe that person's in the wrong account for them.
Yeah.
So it could be that. So it's like, like insurance. Certain insurance products may not be the right product for this person.
I got you.
So all that type of stuff, or this type of retirement plan, that's not for you.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one.
I love it. So this is a great segue to talk about. So you found yourself, are you still dealing with banking? Because now you're in the insurance game.
No, I don't deal with banks. Now, we are full financial practice. I say full financial practice. I don't take any deposits, though. So nobody can say, hey, you got my money.
Nah.
So we don't do that side, but we do tax-free retirement. We help with Medicare as well.
I got you. So how'd you find yourself in the insurance game from leaving banking to insurance? How did that happen, man?
Man, to be honest with you, the money. It was my mentor and one of my best friends, Terry Edwards. He and his wife, he was also in the credit unions. He left his family to move down to Atlanta for a CEO position.
Wow.
And so 2 weeks before he was supposed to start, Mr. Ross, they rescinded that job offer.
Okay.
So he felt by way of fate, and he has a master's degree, but he found himself on Craigslist, and that's how he fell into it with this company. And so I was like, hold on, but he was like doing insurance. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I went down there because he and his wife had just had a newborn baby. So I was like, I want to come see the baby. Forget y'all. So he went out, and the boys were down in the basement at that time. I was like, let me go down and check. It's too quiet.
Yeah.
You know, younger kids. I'm like, no, y'all quiet. So I saw what he was doing. He had these numbers on his whiteboard. And then so when he got back, I was like, what are these numbers? He was like, that's what I did last month. I was like, oh, that's how much we say premium. I was like, that's how much premium you wrote. He was like, no, that's what was deposit. I need more. I want in. So I prayed about it all the way back from Atlanta. Yeah. And I was like, I need to do this. Even if I just do it on the side, extra $500 a month would definitely change the game.
Heck yeah.
And, you know, if you think about it, when the economy crashed, when the mortgage burst, if people had an extra $500, that could have saved a lot of mortgages from going to foreclosure.
No doubt.
So I was like, I got 2 kids. I said, at that time, my son was in Taekwondo. My daughter had just started dancing. I said, I need to make some extra income.
Sure.
I was like, and I'm sitting in a cubicle. You never see people sitting in a cubicle say, oh, I'm rich, I can quit.
Nah.
So that's not the way these jobs are built. They're not to make you wealthy.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I like what excuse me, I take it that you're a man of faith.
Yes.
So I want you to speak to something if you could. I heard you mention you prayed about it first. Can you speak to the importance of praying before you actually make a career change, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether it be business, whatever it is? Can you speak to that for a moment for those who may disagree with you?
I can speak for me. And so I can't speak for the whole whole human race.
Yes.
But for me, growing up, you know, I grew up in church, and I strayed away. You know, I went to college, and I was like, I'm partying, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I can do that, but I can't get up and give the Lord what he's due. So, you know, this past Saturday, my son and I, we were up to about 2 a.m. Wow. We still got him went to church.
I love it.
And so my son, he beat me there because he's part of the youth group. And so he beat me to church. You know, he got his own car. But I had to pray about it and sit there and be still. And I'm reading this book right now, Visioneering, by Andy Stanley. Yeah. And it talks about, you know, it's a faith-based book.
Yeah.
And I had to be still when I listened. And sometimes we can ask multiple times. He didn't give you the answer.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't see it.
Yeah.
And that one person can be in your life for a reason, but for a season. And so I had to pray about it and be still. And as soon as I felt I had received what I needed to, I still didn't move right away. There was some backlog I had to do with even leaving corporate America, going out on myself, because that took some more praying.
Sure did.
And so he gives you, I think God, to me, he gave me hints about it. And even when I was ready to move, I still needed to wait a minute. So
that's good stuff. It's good stuff, and it puts you in a sweet spot now.
Yeah.
Because now you're in a sweet spot. So let me ask you this, Quincy, before we get actually into the questions. So do you outright own your portion of your company that you're with?
I'm actually in the process now. So we're considered independent. And so we are 1099. No, I'm not a W-2 anymore, which was scary in itself with taxes and stuff.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm actually in the process of setting up my LLC.
Congratulations.
I meant to do that last year, but you know, you get busy, kids, traveling with the kids. And so I'm behind the ball on that, but I'm in the process.
Okay. That's okay. But congratulations to you anyway that you got it done. Because, man, I was telling somebody, man, that is like the best thing in the world for somebody to go independent for themselves.
It's so scary.
It's scary, though.
Yes.
Yes, it's scary. Talk about that a little bit.
Because like how we go, when I was working for a legacy, it was like 40 or 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for PTO during certain times because you closing out the previous month, closing out the previous quarter, or you closing out the year. So what really pushed it, man, when I lost my grandmother in 2021, that was some dark path. Outside of, separating from my ex-wife, going through divorce, and not having my kids every day, having them every other week, it was stressful. And so hit a dark path. But just leaving that time, that's what pushed me. Like every day now I move, like I'm trying to make my grandmother proud. And so knowing I got these other two youngins behind me looking at daddy, so I want them to have that belief in themselves. Well, if my dad can do it, I can do it.
Sure.
And now starting that LLC, even my son, and I don't have the LLC yet, but I've already got him an agent, so I just need him to go get his license. So when something does happen, I can pass that down to him.
I love it. So smart, man. It's a legacy.
Exactly. And that's why I named my company Legacy Financial and Partners, because it's not just me. I'm just the face of it.
Yes. It continues. Keep going and going.
Exactly.
That's right. It's always going to be floating like clouds, brother.
Hey, correct. And I tell my son, hey, you got to have something. I was like, I can set the path for you, but you got to be here to take the reins. When I leave this earth, I should be empty because I've poured so much to you and your sister.
I love it, man. I love it. You're setting the next generation up to succeed.
Correct.
I love it, man. So let's get into it. So I would like to start here as it pertains to insurance. What type of insurance is this before we get into the questions?
So we do pretty much our bread and butter is life insurance, but we do a little bit, a lot of that. But we also help clients with Medicare, people that are just turning 65 or been on disability for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them is like, well, I can't get it till I'm 65, but they can get it early if they've been on disability for about 2 years.
Oh, I love it.
And then there's some other qualifications. And then we also do tax-free retirement. And then we just partnered with this law firm, man. They were doing trust as well. We don't do the trust. Let me clarify that. We don't do the trust.
Gotcha.
But we can partner, get that client connected with where it's a fraction of the cost if they just walked into an attorney's office.
I love it. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. So the first question I got for you, Quincy, is can you explain the tax-free retirement options available through your agency and how they work? You made mention to it a few minutes ago. It's a great segue then. So first question. So
basically, there's a couple of different options. The thing nowadays on social media is be your own bank. So a lot of folks, but be careful with those that you're hearing online and the TikToks, because these people are telling some things that aren't 100% true. But what it is, they're giving you this false hope that you can put a whole lot of money in and get it right immediately. That's not the case. It's got to sit there and grow, because these insurance companies, it is a business. So that's where the tax-free comes in at. You've got it in, but it's tied to, it's with an insurance company.
Okay, gotcha.
And there are things called, that are basically a high-end savings account with an insurance company. And it also has the death benefit. So when they do start taking money out, that's how they're able to get it tax free.
Okay.
And our products are guaranteed. They're fixed, and they're guaranteed not to lose anything because it's tied to that stock market. I call it the airbag effect.
Okay, got you. Mm-hmm.
So when the stock market crashes, which is probably about to happen again every 4 years, with votes and everything of that nature, with the election coming up, it's probably about to take another hit.
Sure.
And so when that economy tanks, the stock market's going down.
Absolutely.
Our money just stops earning, but you don't lose anything either. So that's the blessing of it.
I love that, man. I love it. So is that the same as, I think you just mentioned it with, you put $250 in there, and every month it may accrue 5%. Is that the same?
Well, they're different ratings, but yeah, they're called Index Universal Life Policies.
There it is.
There's also options called annuities.
Yeah.
I have both of those. I actually have 2 annuities and IUL. So the annuities, typically you want to leave them in there about 10 to 12 years at minimum to get some good growth. And so that's one of the things where people are like, well, I can put a lot in and then I can get out. I had a gentleman ask me the other day, he's like, well, if I put 20,000 in, it's just the thing I heard about, I can put 20,000 in and get 16,000 out, but my money's still growing at the 20. I was like, I was like, that makes sense to some folks, but to me, it didn't make sense. So, but I didn't argue with him. No, I was like, we can get together and I can run some numbers and what you're looking at, what you're comfortable setting aside.
Oh, I got you. So 10 to 12 years, you say, before you actually start maturing and making money?
Well, it starts making money right away, but typically, some you can do less than that. But what they call the IULs, those are about 10 to 15 years. The high-end savings accounts with insurance companies, they're called annuities. Fixed annuities are the options we go with, and they can actually use that. Those they can get sooner.
I love it, man. So, I love it. So I'm keep going and moving forward. What types of final expense insurance plans do you offer, and what sets them apart from other providers in your market? So
I work with 40 different companies.
Wow.
So I've got something that covers anybody from 0 to 89, no matter what the health issues are. Now, if they got real bad health, I'm just completely transparent. They may not be able to get, a day one coverage. And I try my best at all times to get day one.
Sure.
But I have a lot of folks that I sit with where they'll be like, well, I don't qualify. Well, let's sit down. I have a lady I met with a couple weeks ago. She had a stroke early this year. We're still able to get her covered right day one coverage.
Oh, wow.
And even if we do, there's still some perks, even if you do have to go to your waiting period with our companies, because we don't work with overnight companies.
I understand.
We actually just brought on Nationwide with they've got some tax-free retirement options.
Wow. So
we don't work with, we work A-rated companies.
I love that, man.
So,
I love that.
But we do the permanent, which is whole life. We do the temporary, which is term, is there just for a certain amount of term.
Okay.
And so we do the universal policies. So we got it all. We've got something to help anybody. We can kind of customize it to that client and what their budget needs are.
I love it. If you could take a little bit of time, you said it a little bit, but can you go into detail the difference between whole life and term life?
So the whole life, it's there. That's what it is. It's there for your whole life. As long as you pay that premium every month, it's there for your whole life.
Yeah.
Some of them you don't have to pay for your whole life. Some of them, you can do like a 10-year pay up, so you pay a little bit more up front, but after 10 years, you're done. Some of them you pay up until 90 or you're done. So there's different perks. Most of them you do pay for the whole life, but after you reach a certain age, they call what they endow, where they actually just send you the check. If you're still up and living, then they'll send you for a check for the face amount.
Wow.
And then also the term is temporary.
Temporary.
Typically you're looking at a 10, 20, 30. Those are the most popular years.
Yeah.
And those I normally do if somebody's got a mortgage. Like I'm doing one. I just did one for a buddy of mine. He's down in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and that's another benefit. I don't have to just help North Carolina. I can help across. Yeah.
Cross.
So,
wow.
And all it is paying a fee.
Okay.
So I have to take another test. So if somebody's like, I have clients up in Maryland. And so, but it's the term is there. If you got a 15-year mortgage we can do a 15-year term. And so that's what we're doing for a buddy of mine. We're doing a 15-year. He bought him a house, and he did a 15-year term. So he's like, if I want to leave this to my daughter, but I don't want her to have the whole thing. So.
Oh, yeah, I like that. How is can you borrow against those at all?
The term?
The term. Or
typically, it's just the whole life you can.
It's the only one you can borrow from.
Okay. But typically, they don't start going cash value till going into the latter part of that second, if not the third year. So that's, a lot of people, again, they're like, I can get money up front. Yeah. No, it's got to grow. It's business. It's like setting money in a bank account. That money has to grow.
I got you. Wow. So you can actually build some wealth that way too.
Correct.
It's smart.
If you think about if people do the research, that's how Disney World started. So he had life insurance policies. Mm-hmm. So he went to the banks and was giving them his idea to this theme park, and they were like, nah. And so what he did, he used his money from his insurance policies to start Disney. That's how Master P started.
Yes.
So I think it was his grandmother, grandfather.
So. Mm-hmm.
That's how he started his record company.
Wow.
And then that led to No Limit.
And everything else he's doing.
And now look what he's doing.
Right?
Hey,
he's a beast.
And he's leaving a legacy.
He's leaving a legacy behind.
But a lot of people don't think of life insurance like that.
Yeah.
They think of it as just a death benefit.
Oh, no.
But it gives that next generation a step up.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have to go in debt to bury you.
Yes.
So, but it's benefits, man.
Man, I love you, man.
And I love it. You mentioned something earlier about giving back.
Yeah.
That's how I look at this. I'm giving back because a lot of people don't have the knowledge about life insurance.
No, they don't.
To build that wealth.
Yes.
And so that's what I want to do. That's why I look at it every day. I look at it as serving the community.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking this time out again for this portion of this show, this segment of the Ross Cloud podcast. You know what? Man, we're going to talk even more so after here because this is going to be beneficial for those who don't know much about finances and how finances work. I love it. I love the way God works in the universe. It ain't what you know, but who you know. And it's all about building relationships. And you want those long lasting relationships with like-minded people that get it, that say, hey, we want to empower you, but you got to do the work.
Exactly.
Here's what you got to do in order to make it work. You can do it, but you got to do the work.
And that hits home to me because when I first left corporate America, I started very well. My first couple months was great. Then I got relaxed. I was like, I ain't got nobody checking in on me. I ain't got nobody to report to.
Yeah.
But I got to report to that checkbook. And then bills start coming in. And
they don't stop.
Exactly. And just being transparent, I actually looked back going to work for somebody else because I was like, this ain't working out the way I thought it was. I'm building an agency, so I'm helping other agents as well. But
sure.
But that belief in myself, I had a lot of filth back in me from my childhood, and I had to get rid of that. And that's where the faith, man. And now every day I wake up like, I am a king. I will be bold.
Come on, man.
And so I'm speaking that every day. And so I had to find that motto, man. That came from that book, The Visionary, man. And so it's been a blessing.
That's right.
And
man.
Loving people for who they are, not how they are.
Yes.
So
I love the fact that you dropped that gem and that jewel on us about speaking empowerment affirmations to yourself. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I'm rich. Whatever it is that you say to affirm yourself and really believe it.
Correct.
And walk in it. You'll be surprised at that crown that you'll be
and
wearing.
I speak that to my kids, man. My daughter's 11, and even the weeks I don't have them, I call her every morning when on her way to school, praying with her.
Yeah.
And so even my son, we still pray, and my daughter and my son, we pray every night and speaking to them, building that self-esteem in her. Like she's a competitive dancer. She's a national champion.
Wow.
And it's like on that stage, you got all the confidence. They say, I'm going to eat. She knows she's going to eat when she go on that stage. She's a 3-time national champion.
I love it.
Every year she's gone to national, she's won, and she's only been 3 years, and this is going to be their 4th year. And she eats, man. And so it's building that self-esteem in the classroom too. Yeah,
you know what? I think my niece danced. Y'all was over at the Carolina Theater, right?
Yeah, about a month or so ago.
I think we kind of talked about it. My niece, Sweet Baby. Well, we call her Sweet Baby. Everybody call her Sweet Baby. That's my brother's nickname for it. So we call her Sweet Baby, and she dances. And baby girl had to dance over here. I wonder, you might have.
I probably walked right past.
Probably sure did, man. That's good stuff, man.
Hey, man, we'll be in South Carolina next month, so I'm looking forward to it, man.
Right on.
And that's the blessing of being able to leave corporate America. Like, I'm able to adjust my schedule, man.
Yeah.
Just being here, I go see a client later, but I'm able to adjust and still, I want to be able, when I left, I want to make sure I could still not just be a present dad, because I grew up without mine, like I said, but I want to be able to provide as well.
Yeah.
And so my kids, they don't miss a meal.
I love it. I love it, man. And happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you.
In advance. Thank you, man.
Hey, that's the best club right there.
That's the best club, man. So how does your agency approach providing mortgage protection insurance to clients, and what benefits can policyholders expect?
So we have people writing in to so we don't have to do any type of cold calling. I don't just go random door knocking. I do post stuff on social media from time to time, but very few, because I've been doing it for so while. I've got almost 1,000 clients because I did it part time. I've been doing it now 9 years. Yeah, but part time of that. Excuse me, let me collect that number. It's probably closer to 700.
Okay. Sure,
I don't want to give you false information, but I was doing it part-time for 6 years. Okay. And now, so the last couple have been full-time, so my clientele has been building. So I get a lot of referrals. But we have people writing in, requesting information, so we simply call them up, and that's how we build our clientele. And my clients become like family, man. I have people texting me on my birthday for Father's Day. I text them. Oh, man. And I can't sing, but I call the ones I like to clown with. I'll call them and sing happy birthday to them. And, I have one client, she calls me every summer. Yeah. We talk a couple times a year, but she calls me every summer, invites me and my daughter over, because I may be from the city, but I'm a country boy at heart, so I like tomato sandwiches.
I do too, bro.
And so some good salt, pepper, and some mayonnaise. I'm good to go. My daughter eat it. My son, he like, nah, I'm good.
Go ahead.
But she calls us over every year for it. And so, but as far as the benefits of having different life insurance,
sure, man.
Like a lot of them come with living benefits. Like I said, a lot of people just think it has a death benefit, but it's not. I have a gentleman yesterday I ran across, and he was like, I'm good. But what it was, he's got insurance. A lot of people have this false, hope. Well, if I got insurance through work, I'm good. But you can't use that one at work. If you get chronically, terminally, critically ill, the man said he was diagnosed last year with prostate cancer. So if he had something in place outside of work for a while, he could have barred against it. Yeah. And so depending on the type of policy he had, but those are some of the benefits. Or if you just get hit with a hard time, you can be your own bank. You can borrow it from the cash value. And sometimes, depending on the policy you have, you don't have to pay it back, depending on how long you've had it too.
I got you.
It's Sabi.
It's Candy Kane.
And this is DJ Twister. If you want to support a great cause and donate, contact us on www.s4sinc.org. Supporting young sisters toward achieving success.
And no penalties. No
penalties. Exactly.
Oh, man, that's pretty dope.
Depending on how long they've had it. But all policies aren't like that. So just make sure. And even if you have had one for many years, take a look at it. I've had clients, they've had some universal policies, but years ago, the universal policies had a bad name because what was happening, people were not funding it correctly because the agent didn't tell them. They were just giving them the minimum payment. The minimum payment's probably going to keep it in place for about 8 to 10 years. But if they're funding it, it should be there for that person's whole entire life.
Is there such thing as having too much life insurance?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I've got 5 policies on me. I've got all types because I truly believe in it. Yes. I ride motorcycles, so I've got an accidental.
You gotta have it. Yeah.
I've got an accidental. I got a term because I have a mortgage. I have a whole life. I've got but now I'm working for myself, so I have the IUL. When I left corporate America, when I left from one bank, went to another one. Yes. That 401k, I put it into a savings account with an insurance company. Yeah. And when I left for good, I did the same thing again.
Oh, man.
So I've got, I know,
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
I pay more in life insurance than I do my car payments.
Yeah. But guess what? It's beneficial.
Exactly.
It's beneficial for you, though.
But
it's not depreciating either.
Exactly. But we'll go out here and buy these $1,200 phones, but won't put life insurance on ourselves, or get just the minimum.
That's true.
So, and then, we look at income replacement. So, yeah, you'll be able to put that person in the ground or cremate them.
Yeah.
But that person's income is going to be a two-income household.
Yeah.
So those are things we look at. We look at the entire picture, and a lot of people don't think about that stuff. So that's where the professionals can come in at.
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing that too, by the way, man. That's why I like having these conversations. You're able to go delve into it as the person that I'm interviewing. They get comfortable.
Yeah.
So you're comfortable now. So, man, I'm telling you, going hard.
I ain't comfortable.
Man. Oh, you're not?
I ain't comfortable. I'm working harder now than I did work for somebody else because now I see the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And before you see the benefits, you got to, it takes, most restaurants fail within the first year to 2 years.
Yes, they do.
But a lot of people don't put in the work that it takes to get that over to the profit side. So they're taking a loss the first, couple years.
Yeah.
You think about a McDonald's. It takes them about 10 years to turn a profit because they've got all this money and they have to have a liquid asset.
Absolutely.
And that's like if you get, you got to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can't make the the Big Mac. You can't make the Ross Mac.
No, you sure?
So here we've got a great system. So if people just follow that system,
it works.
Then it works. Yeah. And I had to learn that as well, even being full time. Sticking to a schedule like I was working for somebody else. That's where I was like, I'm not comfortable yet. I'm working harder now than I did, which it should be that. You should work harder for yourself than you do somebody else.
Come on, man. Talk that talk, man. I love it. That got my attention when you said that. I ain't comfortable. No, sir. I ain't comfortable.
No.
You got to keep going.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going hard until my kids are comfortable. That's how hard I'm working.
I love it, man.
And I still got a little bit more.
Sure.
I ain't working hard as I can.
Nah, but you got something.
I'm moving. I'm going that way though.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. I was just sharing with somebody, man. I keep late nights and early mornings.
Oh yeah, that's my thing.
That's it, man.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, why don't you go to the gym in the evenings? Because I'm working. That's my income producing time. Yes. Now 4:30, 5 o'clock, then I'm in the gym.
I'm in the gym, right.
But let me get some. Build my agency out on the West Coast. Oh, I'm gonna be talking to them in the morning. So my gym time may be 2 o'clock.
Right.
That's why I got a 24-hour gym.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I got to be healthy for my kids. It doesn't matter if I got all the money, but I ain't got my health.
Yeah,
that ain't matter. I ain't trying to be that fit. What my son 18 now.
Yeah.
About 10, 12 more years when I first have a grandson, I'm pushing the time out.
No.
But when I ain't trying to be, I can't get on the ground with my grandkids.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
you don't want to.
And I love travel too, so I love the water. I got to get out there.
I love it, man. I love it. So what are some key features and advantages? Now, I think you already said it to choosing tax-free retirement, but I want to talk about the options over traditional taxable investment accounts.
Okay.
Those key features there.
So, take example, the 401k. That's the way the economy has been groomed to invest in the 401k.
Yes.
So, you take, somebody's got 100, and just use nice round numbers, 100,000.
Okay.
Well, when they retire, they're not going to have 100,000 because it's going to get taxed.
Wow. And
so that's the benefits of that. With having money sitting with an insurance company, when you start taking that money out, and then also the 401ks, they can take a loss.
Yes,
you think about during the pandemic. My business jumped 300 some percent.
I'm sure.
Whereas most people, because now everybody's believing in life insurance, because we all know somebody that lost somebody. If we didn't lose somebody directly, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So young folks to old folks.
Yeah.
So everybody started believing in life insurance all of a sudden, but. Even nowadays you can sit with somebody. I can be Jesus telling them when they're going to go. They be like, "No, I'm good."
They listening to you.
Exactly. But those tax-free retirement options, that's where the benefit, the money we have, where it's sitting at, you're not going to take a hit. You're guaranteed not to even lose your principal.
Wow.
But whereas the 401k, mine took a hit when I had 401ks.
Yeah.
But I say invest up to that match. Most companies still match. Like even when I was with Chulan, I had a pension. So I was putting money in my pension. So now I've got my pension because I was there for a while. I'm investing my pension. And then I've got these monies that I have with insurance companies. So when I do have the benefits of having it with, versus a 401k, over here I've got a lifetime income I can take out. I can get a monthly income off of that and pay no taxes with it.
I understand. Do you
And let me clarify, I'm not to interrupt. I'm not a tax consultant. Go talk with your tax guy. I just know about the insurance product. I ain't trying to get
because people will ask too. That'll be the first thing.
Exactly. I'm not a CPA.
Okay, all right. Say less then. I got you.
Got to
put it out there though,
exactly.
You'll be getting phone calls and people be saying, "Can you do my taxes for me?"
I don't even do my own.
I got you. Yeah, you hire somebody else.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Plus the time and effort that goes into it. It's a lot of time that people spend with that too. What I wanted to ask you is veterans, as it pertains to veterans.
Okay.
How do you approach veterans that have been, on disability for 5-6 years?
Okay.
And that is their compensation anywhere, let's just say hypothetically, anywhere from $4 to $10,000 if they're a POW.
Okay.
Prisoner of war, sometimes a little bit more, but on average, anywhere from, I'd say 4,500, maybe 5.
You got some good ones because the ones I'm coming across, they barely making it, man. So a lot of them, I think on the higher end I've come, the average is the market that I've been coming across is like 3,000 or less.
Wow.
And so those, a lot of them, they're going to the VA for everything.
Sure.
But if they've been on disability for 2 years, and we can come in and do like a Medicare only plan. A lot of them are like, well, I can't have that. Even the TRICARE for Life clients.
Yes.
They're like, I can't have that. It's going to mess my silver scripts up. There's still products out there that they can benefit from because they're, even with the TRICARE for Life, that's not covering like their vision and dental. So that's where we can come in at and get a Medicare only, not the Medicare Advantage plans, but they can do the Medicare only plans and, get money back every month. To help pay for that, because there's still a lot of them are still paying for their Part B, which is right now $174 and some change a month.
Wow.
So they can offset that. Like I've got 2 ladies. Well, excuse me, one now, she's passed, but one she's paying. She's TRICARE for Life. I got 3 clients that are TRICARE for Life. And I just set another one up. Now they're paying one, instead of paying $174 for their Part B out of Social Security, they're only going to be paying like $20. So now they're getting $150 back every month towards that Part B.
I love that.
And they're not messing with their silver scripts because they don't mess with their silver script and their prescriptions.
No, sir.
And so now that's putting more money back in their pockets every month.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that. I want to make sure I plugged in our veterans. And
hey, thank you guys for your service too. I don't take that lightly. I've got cousins who retired from the Navy. I don't take that lightly. And then not even you all, but thanking the family, because it's family, they deal with as well. So
that is so right. And this is a great segue because you're actually giving us great educational jewels now. So do you provide educational resources or workshops to help clients better understand these financial products before making a decision about purchasing them?
I do more one-on-one. That's because I can hone in better when it's one-on-one. And then a lot of times people are more apt to ask questions when it's one-on-one. Because we are talking about finances.
We are.
Back when I was growing up, you stay in a child, you don't talk about it. You stay in a child's place.
Yeah.
And then so we didn't have those questions. So now you don't talk about it. You don't, like, even with corporate America, I can't ask you how much you making.
Oh, no, sir.
So you don't ask me.
Yeah.
It's been talked about, but you don't, you that's forbidden.
Yeah.
So, because what this person may be getting, this new person that just came in, you've been here for 10 years, but now this new age, they coming in making more than you making.
Yes.
So you better not talk about it.
Bet not.
So now when doing a one-on-one, people are more, willing to give you that information. Then too, with the Medicare, we're going over prescriptions. So there's a lot of personal information.
Yeah.
So now we have done Medicare workshops, kind of high level.
Okay, gotcha. I love that, man. Thank you for sharing that because you're so good at it. As we're sitting here talking about it, I'm getting a wealth of information from you. You know what I'm saying? So really, it'll make you say, okay, so what do I need to do, Quincy?
Hey, and I'll be the first to tell you. I'll be the first to tell you. I don't know it all, but I know where to go get the resources.
I like that, though. I love the transparency in that.
Oh, yeah. Too. I never pretend that I know it all.
Yeah.
So, like my daughter, she's 11. I know it. I know that. Well, if you knew it, why are we having this conversation? That's her go-to. Or my son, bruh. It's like, bruh, I know. Like, son. So, so I got him back there like, bruh, I need to go get your sister.
Oh, man, I love him.
I'm a big kid, man. I'm the biggest kid in my house.
Hey, man,
that keeps me young.
That keeps you young,
so
man.
I love
Absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that, too, though, man. That's dope, man. Are there any additional services offered by your agency that complement these main focus areas? I think you already answered this: tax-free retirement, final expenses, mortgage protection.
There
I guess
are
you can
some-
speak to mortgage protection if you want to.
Yeah, so even outside of the mortgage protection, with Medicare clients, because we are going into open enrollment.
Yes.
So that's one of those big things every year. Excuse me, AEP, annual enrollment, and then in next year in January, the first quarter, we have open enrollment. But with those clients, those that are not on Medicaid and Medicare, most of them still have a copay when they go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can kind of get to offset that are very inexpensive. Yeah. Like there's a plan I did for my mom and that I do for quite a few clients. Yeah. As small as it's like a couple bucks a month, like $10 a month.
Sure.
That you can get a plan. It's called a hospital indemnity. Yeah. So that pay you if you go into the hospital. So they have a lot of clients, with the Medicare, they have like $295 a day copay. That $295 can add up quick.
Yeah.
You get an elderly that's living on paycheck to paycheck, just living off Social Security. They get a $1,000 bill, that putting them in a bind.
Yeah.
So there can be things that can offset that, if not take care of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly payment, but it's very small. My mom pays $20 a month, where she gets like $300 a day if she goes in the hospital.
Wow.
Thankfully, she hadn't had to use it, but again, those are not the clients that have Medicaid and Medicare, that just have the Medicare Advantage plan. So
I love it, man. Thank you. So I got a question for you. It's a customer service question. So say, for instance, a customer comes in and they say, well, Quincy, I don't want to do this no more. I want to pull out of it. How do you guys handle that? And does it hurt that client if they pull out of anything that you guys have put in place for them? Are there any penalties?
It just depends on the more the investment side, because some of those have surrender charges. So if they haven't had it for a while,
can you explain surrender charges?
So like if I've got a client that has, say, a 7-year fixed annuity. So typically outside of that 7 years, once they're on the other side of that 7, they can pull out for everything, no charge anything.
Okay.
But again, the company, and this is something I explain to my clients up front. So if that first year, if you pull that, say, hey, I changed my mind, there's a window in there when you first do it that you can get it. You say, hey, no, I changed my mind. There's a window. But outside of that window, it's like a 6%.
Okay.
And then the second year maybe 5% for and on down to that, to zero.
Okay.
So the one I did, it was like a 10-year when I first did it years ago. So the first year was a 9% penalty, second year 8%. So it'd be in their paperwork, and that's something I go, once my clients get their policies, a lot of them, they're going to put it in the thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I have it delivered to me, and I deliver it to them, so I know they're going to sit down and watch it. I'm going to go through it with them to make exactly. They can never say, "Well, I didn't know this."
Yeah.
This I'm going over it with you.
Yeah, I love
And then even with whole the permanent with the whole life, there's benefits to it down the road because you're getting older. Prescriptions are going up.
Yes, sir.
They may not can afford that same policy anymore.
Yes, sir.
And there's certain policies out there that go up every 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So ours, the good thing about it, they're considered level. So whatever you start paying from day one is what you always pay. Your face value never changes.
Oh, I love that.
But there's nowadays they're called paid up insurance. So in that policy they're going to get is going to have columns showing different things, and then one of them may be the paid up insurance on the whole life products, where it say, hey, I can't make this payment no more, but you got to know what's in there and what it means.
Sure,
a lot of them see it, but they don't know what it means.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't have to make a payment anymore, and now you won't have that full face value, but you'll have something. So then your money's not gone. But or they just take the cash again because they don't know that paid up insurance is there. But you can so.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to share that with us, because I know people, when it comes to customer service, I know sometimes people can say, man, I don't want to deal with this right here.
Well, my clients do. I tell my clients, call me.
Please.
Don't call the 800 number, because you're going to get flavor of the day. That may be somebody in training. Because granted, just be real, they're sitting in a call center.
Yes, sir.
They've got hundreds of calls coming in every day. So they may be at their wits' end. Call me. You're going to get that white glove treatment. So yeah, what was the butler on Fresh Prince?
Yes,
Jeffrey.
Sir,
You're gonna get that Jeffrey treatment.
Oh,
you're gonna get that white glove.
That will upset you right there, Quincy. I love it, man. So what steps do you take to ensure, and you sound like you're already doing it to ensure transparency. You just spoke on it when explaining costs associated with each type of product being considered by potential customers. If you want to elaborate a little bit more, you can, but you kind of touched on it based on the customer service piece right there.
Okay.
Your ability to be able to go through with them step by step, precept by precept, and say, hey, this is how it is.
Well, I look
if
at
you
this.
want to go deeper, you can.
I look at this as my business. Yeah, I'm part of a larger organization. That's how we have the benefits we have, and the different infrastructure. But that's how. But I look at this as my business. I'm taking on personal responsibility, even when I'm training other folks throughout the organization, and so I take it personally. I gotta leave. I truly believe what you reap, you sow. So I'm leaving. I gotta take all the punches so my kids don't have to take it. And so I serve my clients. You know, like I said earlier, I call them on their birthdays. They have my cell phone number. I only have one cell phone. I ain't got no two one personal one. So they call my cell phone. They know who they're going to get. They're not calling an 800 number, getting tied up in a phone tree. I personally hate phone trees. And so my clients, I don't put them in a phone tree.
Okay.
And I have a sundown rule. If you call me back, and this is something I learned while I was in banking. So even some of the stuff I learned in banking, I'm still putting in effect today. Like my sundown rule, I had a manager told me years ago, if they call you before you leave, you're going to call them back. We're going to call them back by the end of the day. And so I still do that to the day.
Right.
So I call them back. So
I love it, man.
And so that you know, if I'm sitting with a family, I won't pick up the phone unless it's my kids and it's an emergency because they know the code how to call me. But if it's another client, I'll call them back when I leave that appointment.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You talked about it before, but I was like, I know Quincy can elaborate even more. You go a little deeper on it. So I'm glad you took the opportunity to do that. Well, Quincy, listen, man, this has been an awesome conversation. And I think we got a plethora of information out there for the folks. They kind of build off of, you know, I'm big, man, on as we close, man, I like for our guests to say something positive to the folks, to our listeners that would empower them. And you can speak to legacy. You can speak to the importance of generational wealth if you want to. However you want to structure it, you can, and then afterwards tell the folks how they can get in contact with you for your services. I
tell everybody, just insurance in general, whether you're getting it from me, get something outside of your job, because that job, it may close up. You may plan on retiring from there, but nobody ever thought Wachovia would be gone either.
No.
And so look how huge First Union Wachovia was when we were growing up. That's all we knew.
Man.
And, you know, look at those companies. They've gone out. Reynolds was bought out.
Yes.
They're basically moving everything overseas.
Yes.
So you may want to retire with that company, but that company may not want you to retire with them.
Come on, man.
Or they may be going through infrastructure changes. And so you may be, you know, you were one of the first one in. You may be that first one out.
Yes, sir.
So have something outside of work that you own and control.
Yeah.
And so, and know exactly what you have. Don't just assume. Have that person that got that policy for you, you know, that sold you that policy, come back and go with. I'm looking at what I'm doing is consultative sales. I'm not a pushy salesman. I'm gonna go over it with you and look over those policies with you, so you know exactly what you have. I even call the beneficiary, so the beneficiaries have my information. Because I don't want the first time that beneficiary hear my voice is when something's happened to their loved one. And they need help going through that, filling out that claim. I'm gonna be there for them. And we've got products now that if something happens to me, they've got a free benefit. Now we have that they can call somebody if they need grief counseling. They can do free online legal documents like wills and stuff like that. We've got that service we offer as well to current clients. So that stuff we can put in place.
I love it, man. Can you tell the folks? Can you speak to Legacy?
Legacy, my company. So we're full financial. I say again, we're a full financial practice. We can help anybody from 0 to 89, no matter what the health issues are. Again, we help with life insurance, which they hear as final expenses. Mortgage protection, which is again, you hear these key words, but really it's a term product. And so tying that to the mortgage, a lot of people's like, well, what if I move? Well, that product follows you. It doesn't follow that mortgage. And so we have with Medicare. Medicare season's coming up. We got to go through recertifications. You're starting that up soon. And then the tax-free retirement options. Even if you've got something in place, People say, well, I've been with Edward Jones for years. Well, how much are you paying Edward Jones?
Yes.
What fees do you have?
Yeah.
See, we can look at all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether that, I'm not just using Edward Jones, but there's multiple companies out there.
Sure.
Those people are, you know, they're sleeping good at night, whether you lose or not.
Yes, they are.
You know, whereas our clients, we're going to be on top of things. I meet with my clients every year.
I love it.
So, but, you know, again, they can reach to me. My cell phone number is 336-413-5458. If you want to email me, legacyfinancialcontact@gmail.com. I keep it simple, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. I like that. Keep it simple, man. Listen, again, Quincy, this has been an absolute pleasure and an honor for having you on.
The honor was mine.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm glad we were able to serve you, but also get the message out about insurance. And then we touched on finances a little bit, too, within that, being that your background is finance. So I got 2 for 1.
Yes, you did.
I got a 2 for 1, man. And I can't tell you again, thank you again for gracing us with your presence.
And I appreciate the honor was all mine, Mr. Ross.
Right
Anytime, the pleasure was mine. I had a good time chopping it up again. And I love educating.
I know, so. I can tell. I can tell. I can tell the passion. I can hear the passion. You actually could feel it.
Yeah.
And of course, you can feel the care within there too, to say, hey man, you know, listen, you can do this, you can do this.
Yeah.
You know, don't give me so much pushback. I want to help you.
Exactly. And now
help you.
My passion is coming out more these days. I know my vision now.
Yeah,
so that's where it's going, man.
Yeah, man.
That vision is getting clearer and clearer.
Yes, we're gonna have you back again too.
Definitely.
We definitely
look forward
have you
to
come back.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I hope something was said to you guys that can help you become a better you. Listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross. Keep making it great. Peace.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.